Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to your Sunday Tony conversation with the Love Crusade. We've had a little bit of, you know, recap for the year 2023. Many of you have missing our faces. So here we are, Titi and I, this evening. First, to say thank you for 2023. All right, before we get into it, if you're coming across this platform for the first time, it's called Conversation with the Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life and relationships in a fun way. So we learn while we have fun. And we've had a very good year, if I must say so myself. A very good year running some topics, some issues, talking about, things, topics, visitors, guests. One of the best things we started this year was a love seat. So today we're going to do a bit of a recap of some of our um, would you say topic or themes or some of the things that were outstanding and things that stood out for us in 2023 just because it's the end of the year. So happy new year in advance to all of you. Titi, welcome to the show. Let me not be talking alone. Welcome to
I
the
said Happy New Year. New Year's in order now, because
Yes, it is. I think it's new year in some countries of the world already. Ah,
so yeah.
God, wonderful. I don't even know how. In some places they're already saying Happy New Year. In some places they're just
Yeah.
waking up to the last day of the year. So this is just the dynamics and the wonder of life. So
Yeah.
yeah, where we are counting down. We still have a few hours to go in this new year. All right. Please join the conversation. It's going to be a very interesting one today. We're just going to go, like I said, over some of our main events for 2023. Okay, so first of all, Titi, how was your year?
Well, I'll say it's been that roller coaster of a year, but we can't but just give thanks.
Hmm.
We can't just be thankful, because I mean, if not for anything, despite everything that may have happened in the year, we're still here, and that should count for something, really. So, hey, we're thankful.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the reel that I shared during the week, just looking at the entire picture, sometimes we are tempted to see what has not happened, what did not fall through, or even what happened that was negative, what happened that we didn't expect, or things
Mhm.
that didn't go as planned. Life happens. I mean, um we lost some close friends, or some people lost relations. Some people are sick, maybe they got a new diagnosis. Some even lost their love of their life. Some lost their relationship, some found new ones. But my picture is always that it could have been worse. So
Mhm.
no matter how, you were tempted to want to go negative or look at it in a negative light, I always say, it could have been worse. Yes, it's not nice. Yes, we want everything to go well, but thank God that, we're alive, we're well, and every new day, every new year is an opportunity for new things. It's an
Yeah, even
opportunity.
for those times that didn't for the times that didn't go as we planned, we are grateful
Mm.
for the fact that we're able to like learn lessons from those times. Like I said, we are still here, so those times have passed, those bad times, or some of those bad times have passed, and we are able to like learn a lesson. We're able to understand, okay, especially in terms of relationships, we're able to understand what we want for those relationships that didn't go the way we planned, which is we always plan well, right? We always plan positive and the best. So for those relationships that didn't go in the best possible way we wanted,
Mm.
we've been able to learn that, okay, this is what I do not want moving forward. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I want, you know. This is the way I would react, or this is the way I should be reacting. These are
Mm-hmm.
principles I need to adopt moving forward. So even for those times when we feel like, I shouldn't have lost that relationship and I still lost it, or my marriage situation should be better and
Mm.
it isn't. Moving forward, we have learned something one way or the other, that probably more about ourselves, more about the people that we're in relationship with, family, friends, and hopefully more about our creator. So
And I think that the point you've just made now is maybe on a very, very serious note, the most critical because yes, you've gone through that experience. Yes, this happened to you. But if you don't end up taking the lesson from
hmm,
what has happened, then I kind of feel like the essence of the experience is
it's lost.
defeated. Do you get it? It's defeated. Because if, for example, you lost a relationship, maybe you made a mistake or you didn't do one or two things right, if you don't learn why that has happened, you know, and then the chances are you might get into another relationship, maybe with another person, and make the same mistake again.
True.
So when people do reflections, and that is why I like to reflect. So we're reflecting on conversations with the Love Crusader today, but I have been reflecting on myself, my life. I've been more quiet than usual because I'm not worried. It's not I'm not worrying, but I'm reflecting. So I'm thinking my life in 2023 physically, I wanted to lose weight. I didn't lose as much as I wanted. I lost a bit, but not as good as the target I set for myself. And I'm telling myself, okay, what am I going to do better in 2024 to
Mhm.
lose more of the kg than planned? First, I need to stop eating chocolates because I realized as much as I was running away from carb and I was able to do good intermittent fasting, I was eating lots of chocolates this year. So it can be as simple and as small as
Yeah,
that, but it's to learn the lesson. What's the lesson for you? What's the
yeah,
lesson for me? What are you going to get from that experience that has happened? So if we can translate and convert the lessons into positives, then it's a good experience, no matter how bad
yeah.
the experience is. Abi?
Yeah, I think I agree with you because most times people think, especially when it comes to relationships, people feel like you know how we compartmentalize things.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my finances, this is my relationship, this is my academic or work life, you know. But somehow everything is interconnected, you
Exactly.
know. So even the life lessons that we get to learn
Mm-hmm.
uh, tends to help us in our relationship life,
Mm.
you know. So just like you're talking about reflections at this time of the year, it's
Yeah.
like you're consolidating all of your experiences for the year, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm.
and just like you just mentioned, translating that into how can this help me in my relationship with people, you know, in love relationships. How do I translate that? Because trust me, every experience that you have would go a long way in influencing your relationship, in influencing your expressions in that relationship you find yourself. So it's really a good time to reflect and understand that everything is connected in one way or the other. So no experience is lost, really. You know, during the week, someone reached out to me and was talking to me about something she was struggling with, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to let her see that because she felt so bad. I was
Oh.
trying to let her see that if the fact that you're even she felt so bad about a particular habit.
Yeah.
So I was saying that the fact that you're even aware,
Yes.
you are conscious of these habits that are
That's growth.
yes, that's a good thing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up too much.
Yeah.
There was a time where you didn't even care.
Yeah.
That habit was there, you were on it and you didn't
Mm-hmm.
care. But now you are aware that, oh, I've done something. That
Mm,
consciousness, that conscience thing is
mm.
there, and that's a good thing. And
Yes.
if you are able to learn from those times when you probably displayed those habits, if you're
Mm.
able to learn from it that, okay, this is what made me do this, or this is why I'm reacting this way,
Yeah.
then you are not a failure. You've not lost,
At all. At all.
So
Fantastic.
we need to hone on our experiences and learn from them so that we don't lose both ways.
And I think that sometimes we're too hard on ourselves.
Hmm.
I maybe speaking for my own self as a person. Sometimes we're too hard on ourselves because we set goals, we set targets, we don't fully accomplish them, but maybe we've scratched it, you know. Maybe
You've attempted it.
yes, we need to start celebrating the little
Our small
wins.
wins. Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
celebrate the little wins, celebrate the little. I mean, look at that example you gave. Very, very fantastic. Because if somebody does not even acknowledge that there's a problem, chances are they will
That's a
never
problem.
change. It's a problem on its own. Thank you. So that's a problem on its own. Not even know that
Yeah,
there's a problem. It's a problem on its own.
it
So
is.
for the person to already be uncomfortable, to be conscious that this is a problem, I mean, that's growth. That's
Hmm.
one step in the right direction. And as they continue to not just talk about it or mull about it, but begin to take maybe actions, little step, one step, two step, you grow to one day look back and say, oh, this thing I used to complain about, it's no longer there.
Yeah,
That's just it. This is how we win at life. So let's not be too hard on ourselves. Many people don't even want to do reflection because of this.
yeah, because of
Well,
that fear of, oh, my scorecard would be so terrible.
exactly.
I wouldn't have what I set for myself, I wouldn't have achieved it, or the way I expect myself to be, that level I expect to be, I
Mm,
wouldn't have achieved it yet. And I don't want to remember my failures. So let me
exactly.
just
Let me not just
abandon
quickly
it.
look back.
you know
But
that's what I meant by losing on both ends, because you've gone through
mm,
that experience, it's a bad experience, or you've not achieved that goal, it makes you feel bad already. So to now not learn from those experiences is like double jeopardy. It's like losing on both sides.
mhm,
So to win at one end, at least, is for you to be able to reflect and accept that, okay, yes, I probably didn't do well in this area, I messed up in this area, but at least I'm aware of it and I'm looking forward to be better you
mm,
know
mm, mm, mm. I totally
so
agree. Totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, good one. Good one. So we've set a foundation for why we are reflecting.
yeah.
Just in case you're wondering, this one that these women just came and sat down here today, what are they even talking about when they're talking about reflection? So now you get the reason and the need for it, why
Yeah.
it's important. I mean, another thing I wanted to start doing this year, which I used to do, I stopped doing, and I said, okay, I'm going to go back to it, but I didn't have much time to do a lot of it, was journaling. So I
Hmm.
started the journal, and if you go and look at it now, you see it was haphazard. Some days I wrote some things, some days I did not. But I'm celebrating the fact that I started it again this year, even if I was not as faithful to it as I wanted to be. Because it's one thing I've always loved to do, to always put down my thoughts, my experience, my story, um, which has even helped me to be able to write the books I've written so far. It's from my thoughts, my experience that I've done that. So
Hmm.
hopefully 2024, I'll do better journaling.
Hmm.
Hopefully. Okay, I want us to look at some of the things we talked about on this platform. So like I said, one of the best things we did this year was to start the love seat. And I remember that It was my husband and I on the first love seat as per leadership by example. As per leadership by example, my husband and I were the first. Then after my husband, Titi had to come with her handsome husband, a handsome husband that is always camera shy, but I won. I brought him to the screen. Okay. And it was such a lovely thing to get him here, you know. When he came, we learned a lot. We learned a lot from their story. One thing I always remember about Titi and Ano's love story is Ano's intentionality. Titi said, my husband is very intentional about me and my happiness. Remember, I tell me I don't forget.
Yeah.
I remember gist because it's important to me. That's the essence. And we talked about how that is an important thing for a man, you know, in the family to just want to make his family happy, to see that joy that he brings to his family. So um we now went on to Emmanuel and of course his wife. They came. That's another woman that is very difficult to get on screen. But we won this year. Zenebu. We brought Zenebu and Emmanuel. And what I loved most about their love story, apart from the way they met in choir, singing and serving the Lord together, was the fact that Sister Genevieve was already checking out this brother.
Mhm.
You remember? She was already checking out this handsome brother in choir. But she in her mind thought that because she newly came, all the other sisters there now, I will not let this.
Must have been taken.
Then she was checking for his wedding band in his hand. I remember, okay. Anyways, I like the way they co-parent their children. Um, she says when the children are sick, they become daddy's children. Okay, I'm not going to be able to tell everybody's love story, but we've had such fantastic time on the love seats,
Yeah.
bringing couples to tell us about their stories, how they met, and how they are progressing and what they are doing with their love story. Titi, do you remember anyone? Anyone that you can?
Well, not a specific one
Yeah,
in particular, but because we are reflecting on
yeah.
all the love seats we've had,
Mm.
um, what came to mind is the like the general theme for each love story, for each marriage relationship or marriage situation. The general theme that I took out for me is the fact that you need to, um, aside from being intentional, you need to be present. Like, it's like for every marriage story that we had to talk about, you like it's like the marriage does not work itself. You need to work it. You have to be present. You have to be active. You can't afford to be passive and expect to have a great marriage relationship. For most of the people that were on the love state, I think that was their story. That's the general theme that I took out from most of these stories. Like
Mm.
even from the period of dating and everything, you just have to be, as in, it's a relationship because you relate. So there has to be someone on the other end that you are
Mhm,
relating with.
mhm,
So the
mm.
general thing for me is that fact that you need to be present you need to work it to make your marriage relationship um
Exactly.
work. Yeah. So that's my own take, especially for the love series. Wonderful conversations.
I agree with you.
Mm,
It's a relationship, and you need to be present. Two people have to be involved, and this is what we always say about marriage. And it's my belief about marriage. Marriage would work if the two people are willing to work at it. For every
yeah.
of the couple that we've brought here, whether the ones that have been married 20 years or the ones who have been married 5 years, most of the thing, like you said, the overarching story is about two people, two sometimes different people.
Totally different.
I
Totally
think
different.
when we ask questions about their background, their experiences, you discover that this one is coming from a different background, this one's coming from a different background,
Yeah.
but they've somehow been able to merge together and work on it together and produce this beautiful marriage. And like we said, the goal of our love seat is just to let you know that marriage works. It's working. It's working. It's working. So if it's not working for you, you need to find out why. Why is it not working for
Mm-hmm.
you? What what should I do different, or what can I do different? And
Yeah.
that's part of why we're reflecting for 2024. What can I do differently? I want it to work. I want my marriage to be beautiful. But it takes work. I mean, I remember when we talked about, also, I'm just going to try to link it with the conversations we had with the singles, talking about being present and being available, you know,
Yeah.
because someone was asking us, how do I attract the right person? How do I get the right person? How do I know the person, right person? I remember that question, and we're talking about the fact that as a single person, you're out there, but you're kind of not available because remember the story of the people who met on the street?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, I just stopped down the street. I said, hello, I'm doing this research. That story. I'm doing this research. He said he was not hoping she would be a doctor. I just said, I'm doing this research, medical research. And the next thing, sister said, yes, 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 I'm a medical doctor and I can connect you with. Meanwhile, but I didn't really have any research. It was just his way of trying to,
Yeah.
his opening line, you know, to try to get this lady's attention. But one thing he said that attracted her to him was her smile. So despite that, this stranger stopped down the road and was kind of just putting a request to her, she was smiling and responding friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know where you're going to meet the brother A, brother B, sister Y, sister Z. So you should be available. You should be
Yeah.
approachable. I think that's the word. Carry yourself as someone who is actually looking for someone who can,
Exactly.
Abby.
Yeah, I agree. You can't you can't want something in your mind and be acting something different. So what you desire in your mind should align with what you are putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the times we imagine fantastic things. You say, I want tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh
He needs
yeah.
to have money. He needs to
Mm-hmm.
have this kind of money, six figures, everything six
Mm-hmm.
figures, six
Mm-hmm.
pack, six
Mm-hmm.
bank account, 6 million, six, you know.
Mm.
So that's your dream. That's what you're thinking in your head.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, what you are expressing, what you are putting out there is totally different.
exactly.
Your work ethic is zero or
Mm.
is poor because most people that work have work ethic, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But your work ethic is poor.
Mm.
You know, you are not working like you are headed somewhere,
Exactly.
like you have a goal of managing the kind of resources that you're looking
Looking
for the
for.
other
Mm.
person
Mm.
to have.
Yeah.
Let's even assume you don't have it. Let's assume that you meet someone that has it. When
Mm.
you finally meet that person, how do you help that person manage those resources? And it could be male, it could be female. In the
Exactly.
event that you're not the one that has all the resources, what if in the event that is your spouse or that person you're looking to meet that has much more resources than you? At least the least you can do is to help that person manage the resources. so
Exactly.
so your expression, what you're putting out there, you're not even behaving. Your mindset is not even there yet. That how do I handle money? How do I handle resources?
Mm.
Aside from money,
Mm.
you're
Mm.
not even expressing that. You're not living that life. But
Yeah.
you want six pack.
Yeah.
You want six
You
million.
want a guy that is sportish, that goes to the gym, but you
That
don't
go-
know anything about sport.
You don't
And then
even
when
want
you
to
when you
near.
people go out on a date, he's having a conversation and he's talking about EPL, he's talking about Chelsea, he's talking about Arsenal, and then you are lost.
Yeah, you're
Because
like,
all you know is TikTok and Snapchat. And you're waiting for
mhm.
him to talk about wig, and you're waiting for him to talk about yes, I'm stroking the sisters, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
You
true.
have to be the kind of
Versatile. You have
person
to
that the
expand
person
your
you are
mind.
looking for would see and want. You see, that's the
You keep
thing.
saying, you want someone, you have to have a vision. You have to have a. If they explain the vision to you, will you even understand? Like, if they break it down for you now, are you able to even converse on that at that level of that vision?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So we need to grow. If you are a sister, you're a brother, you're a man, you're a woman, you're waiting, you're single. We're talking about the singles. Next year, by the grace of God, we're going to have a whole month dedicated to the singles. That's the plan.
Wow.
We'll have some really, really good conversation for the singles. One whole month next year. I promise you. It's going to be very fantastic. And the kind of topics, in fact, I can let the cat out of the bag. One of the topics that I'm really, really excited about is about marrying up or marrying
Hmm.
down. Have you ever heard it?
Oh
People
boy,
talking
I
about,
like.
oh, that
Yeah,
person
yeah.
married up or the person married
Married
down.
down. Yeah.
We're going to have a month of dealing with that with the singles. We want to know what it means. What does it really mean when somebody say you're marrying up or you're
Hmm.
marrying down? Anyways, grow, keep growing. While
Yeah.
you're waiting for the
Definitely.
brother and the sister to come, keep growing. Build confidence in yourself. Be present. Carry yourself well wherever you find yourself because you don't know. You don't know who's watching. You don't know, you go to the social media handle of some single sisters, you can't take them seriously. And
Hmm.
I know that there's this social media craze, and somebody say, I have a daughter. I always talk to her about it too. Because the way you present yourself is the way someone will look at you. Those of us, not also minus me, those of you who are there showing the breast and the bum bum and going half naked, you only attract people who will see you as a plaything. It's as simple as that. If you want something serious, you have to look serious. You have to be seen as serious. Then someone serious will approach you. If not, this market of these days, okay, anyways, social media
You
was
know,
not present in our time since Titi.
most of it. Well, it doesn't. The thing is that it doesn't even have to be social media. That's the thing.
But there
Yeah,
are
we
people
may
who
not have.
do a lot in social media. One of the couples coming to Love Seat, let me just let that out of the bag too. One of the couples coming to Love Seat in 2024 met on Facebook. Tell you their
Mhm.
story when they come.
Yeah. So even if you just like people say, there's really nothing new under the sun. You
Yeah,
know, these things just keep revolving and they keep changing in their
exactly.
forms, but it's basically the same thing, generation in, generation out,
Right?
So maybe in the previous generation there was no social media, but there was still some form of communication. There was still some form of expression. The way then it was not social media issue, it was you physically, the way you carry yourself, the way you comport yourself, the way
And
you,
it
you
was
know.
and it was the aunties and the mummies that used to tell that
I
girl,
used
Omo yen,
exactly.
that Danny. Anytime she
Yes.
comes, she greets people very well. That girl used to greet, selling your market for you and advertise and
Exactly.
advertising your
And you won't even know. You may have just gone to your family house or to their family house innocently. But
mm-hmm.
they will say, I remember back in the day, before I got married,
Yeah,
um, when my mom was still alive then, and she had met my sister-in-law, one of my sister-in-laws. I think she met her just once.
yeah.
I think it was just one. And the next time I was referring to her, she was like, "Oh, that lovely girl."
You see?
I'm like, "Come on now. You
Do you
just
know
met this girl once."
our mothers are our social media then?
I said, "Yes." They were the ones following us on social media. They were following everybody, anybody they saw. She just
Mhm.
said that lovely girl. And I'm like, you just met her once. And even the one time encounter you had with her, you might have probably spent maybe like 10 minutes with her, and that was it.
Oh, but
And
then
next thing I was hearing lovely girl, love. Like,
yes, they
whoa.
are good. They are good judge of characters, and I know that
Yeah.
some of them are. Some can be a bit extreme and judgmental,
Hmm.
but truthfully, that experience you can't buy it in the market.
Yeah,
They can actually
absolutely.
look at someone and say, "Oh, this person, yeah," and they might be 80% correct about that person. You know what they've said. So I mean, it's good to listen to the aunties and the uncles sometimes. Okay, anyways,
And aside from those social media that wasn't there then, the peer pressure was still there.
yeah, it
You
was
know,
that's
the
always been
peer
there.
pressure to act a certain way,
True.
be in this clique, which
Yeah,
is the same thing the younger generation are facing with social media now. You want
yeah.
to be among those happening people, those who've
Mm.
got the most followers, So it's still the same thing that's repeating itself in different forms, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're correct. You're correct. You're correct. Okay. So many other things we talked about. I know we talked about love and new beginnings. That was at the beginning of the
yeah,
year, talking about how We needed to start afresh. We talked about love and jealousy. And that
Mm-hmm.
led us also into talking about domestic violence. We always talk about domestic violence on this platform because it's a very, very huge challenge for relationships worldwide. There's no part of the world where domestic violence is not an issue. And as is our usual custom, we're still going to have 1 month next year by the grace of God for to talk about different areas of domestic violence. We're talking more about trauma healing. So
Mm.
how to heal from the trauma that comes from domestic violence in 2024, rather than talking about, we've talked about the types, we've talked about, we've created awareness about it, but sometimes people don't understand the amount of trauma that comes with DA. So we are going to be talking about that, God's grace in 2024. We talked about relationship killers. Oh, Reverend Steve and Pastor Mary, they did wonders to that topic, remember? And Pastor Steve said the grandfather of all relationship killer is selfishness. And
Mm.
I remember there was this debate about selfishness and self-love. What does it really mean? So 2024, we are going to differentiate what selfishness is and what self-love is. What's the difference? When does it become selfishness? When is it self-love? Because sometimes some people get married and get lost in the marriage.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. I mean, getting married doesn't mean that you no longer have a brain, you no longer have a vision, a dream, a thought, a goal in life. Whether you're a man or a woman, you should not be lost in the marriage. The relationship should grow the both of you and be able to help the vision of the both of you, to flourish. So we talked about love and separation. We talked about love and sex. Bedroom matters. That one was another hot
Mm.
section. I remember that my husband was here.
And gave it
Mm.
to us hot, hot, hot,
He
hot.
was very passionate about that topic. Maybe
Well,
we'll
speaking
still
on
bring
behalf of
it
all
back.
the men,
Maybe
the
we'll still
men
bring
sent
it
him
back
actually.
because he did a good job for the men,
Yeah.
talking about the bedroom matters and how women should please cooperate and give them
Mm.
this thing, don't hold it back. It's not and the prophetess, okay, I call her prophetess at home, Sarah was also here. Sarah Obaije, she did a very fantastic job with, that topic too. I think it was the part 2 or the part 3 of it. So we've had very, very great topics, love and career. We've talked about love and absent fathers and mothers. Talked about love and forgiveness. It was a great year.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great year. It was a great year. And 2024 is going to be a bigger year. By the grace of God, we're also going to bring more people to the love seat. We're going to tell more love stories. We'll have conversations around some of the topics that I've just hinted you about, and we are looking forward to an exciting time of learning and of growth in our love life and in our relationships. Okay, I said it earlier on that this might not be a 1 hour session. It's just a gist and a reflection time to just look back at 2023. Titi, what are you looking forward to in 2024?
Ooh, I'm looking forward to better relationships. I'm looking forward to because 2023 has taught me um to be more open, to relationships.
Really?
Sometimes we think we know how to deal with people, or we think we know what people might present to us and how we'll deal with it. I've realized that sometimes we may not know. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to better relationship based on understanding, and I'm looking forward to learning more about relationships generally. I am so looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
The thing is that sometimes people think that we come here, we talk because we know it all. We don't
Mm.
know it all. We are all learning, every one of us, we are all learning. So hopefully, 2024, I am going to learn a lot. I'm looking forward to learning a lot. as we speak and as we bring people here, I'm also learning a lot of
Yeah.
things. You see how I'm trying to remember some of them. There are a lot of things that have stuck with me in the year, especially things that I feel like I need to work on with myself, So that's the essence of it. If we come here, we talk, we laugh, we catch the fun, and you go back and you don't put those things into practice, then they don't mean anything and they're not going to
The fact that we're even here having these conversations, because conversations like this have a way of changing you.
yeah,
What you if you spend so much time on something, eventually it begins to influence you. You may not know. So the more we have conversations like this, the more it causes you to stop in your own track and think, oh, so there are people like this.
yeah,
Oh, so there are people that think this way. Oh,
yeah,
maybe I should be less judgmental when it comes to
exactly.
this particular issue. I should be more open to different ways of doing things. Oh, maybe I should stick to my principles, just the way this person has done.
Yeah,
So the fact that we have these conversations, it has really been life changing for me. It has been like it has expanded my horizon, and make me to understand that, oh, Onokan Waja. Not to repeat that in English.
I
There are
love this
different
one. There are so
uh,
many ways to the market.
yes, there are different
Everybody
entrances
has
into the market.
interpretation. There's so many ways to the market.
So
Yes,
it's
yes,
it's it's interesting, really.
yes. And see, that's I always say is growth. For
Hmm.
me, every learning opportunity is growth, no matter how
Yeah.
small. And as we continue to learn the small and we practice, we learn the small, we practice, we get better. We get better. We can tell better stories. We can recognize. I mean, I know someone who said to me that because of this platform, she's able to recognize something that has been happening in her marriage for close to 12 years as an abuse.
Hmm.
But never thought of it or never saw it in that light. She just thought, okay, this is normal. This is what normally happens. But by the time we started having the conversation around DA, and then she was like, this thing they are describing, you know, fantastic. And like late Katrin Kuma will say, if it's one person that comes to the Lord because of me, then my time on earth has been great. I
Hmm.
mean, if it's one marriage, one relationship, one family that we are affecting, and I know we are affecting more than one because we've gotten a lot of feedbacks, during the year from people who sent us comments and who've asked questions about what we're doing here. I mean, that's life. That's what we're here for. Just to be able to
Even
be a
if it's
blessing
just
to you.
our own lives, even just you and our
Just
lives
our
has
own
been
marriage and
changed.
our own life
Hey,
is getting
God.
better for it. Yes, I agree. I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. My husband, for one, okay, let me not go there. My husband is telling me all the things he's learning. I mean, this is life. This is
Yeah.
life. We are
True.
all learning. Nobody is a master of it all. But as we continue to learn, then we continue to grow together. And then our marriages, our relationships will be what God has intended it to be, which should be, a reflection of God's love here on earth. And that's the perfect, perfect, perfect type of love that
Yeah.
we are looking for. Okay, everyone. It's been nice hanging out with you in 2023. Let's do it again in 2024. We are not going to be ungrateful. Let's thank every single one of you. Titi and I, Emmanuel, not here on his behalf. We want to thank you for being a part of our life in 2023. Men Fences, Love Crusader. We wouldn't have done what we've done without you. Thanks to our technical support, Preco Technologies, always, staying there in the background. Sometimes many people have commented to me to say, your show is so professional. You professional. I'm not a professional. There's somebody, a professional in the background that is making the things professional. So thanks to all of our guests, those we've invited that have come on the show on the love seat. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. Thank you for sharing your love stories with us. Those who have just come to, the topics, our regulars, that have come here on the show and have been a blessing to us. Thank you so much. Without you, we are not here. Thanks to all of you who always watch, who always comment, who always send in, questions to our WhatsApp page. Please keep it up. 2024, let's engage more. Let's do more for ourselves. Let's grow together. Let's have loving relationships. And yeah, next Sunday is the first Sunday in January 2024. And
Mhm.
as usual, our first Sunday is our Love Seat Sunday. So we already have a couple. So see you. Oh, something new is also happening with the Love Seat in 2024. Don't wait to be told. Be here and see it. All right. Thank you, Titi. Thank you, Emmanuel, in absentia, for being fantastic co-host, for stepping in sometimes when I couldn't, for doing some of the background work. These people are fantastically brilliant people, always giving fantastic suggestions. And all that you see cannot be one person's work. It's a combination of all of our beautiful brains. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for all you're doing, everyone, and see you again next Sunday. Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everyone. I was almost going to forget that part. Happy New Year.